Test. Okay, so good evening, everybody, and welcome to our revision session for today. You guys are doing what, a pantun there or something? All right, so I hope everyone is doing great tonight. Now, this is going to be a very simple session. But what is going on there with that pantun? So what I'll do tonight is basically just a very simple revision session. I will entertain questions regarding morphology, and on your respective WhatsApp groups, I've already given a couple of words, for you guys to practice. Nothing really, you call that nothing, Hakim? So I already gave on WhatsApp a couple of words, for you guys to try out, and if you have any questions, let me know. So this will not be, that long of a session, because in all honesty, all right, the chapter of morphology is not exactly the most difficult chapter. It's simply about knowing where and when to divide the words into morphemes, and knowing, how it's done properly. Basically, it's not really that difficult of a concept, all right? So before I begin, any questions, any pressing questions that require immediate attention, anything that requires immediate clarification? I'm open for questions right now. Okay, format for the test. Well, it's a test, and there are fill in the blank questions, there are MCQs, and yeah, basically MCQ and short answer. So MCQ would mean multiple choice question, and then short answer, meaning to say you divide the word into morphemes and do stuff with it, whatever the question asks you to do. All right, it's a very simple format. I cannot show anything, of course. If you want to see what the questions are like, please come to class tomorrow. what's with that? What's with that emoji, Fico? And believe me, this is not exactly, I wouldn't say it's that bad, but if you have trouble, looking for the morphemes in certain words, it can prove to be a little bit problematic, all right? So yeah, any other questions? So the format, there are questions, no essays for sure. Can a stem be bound? What do you mean, Iza? Oh, so somebody is reading the book right now. Such a cop-out answer. Well, I cannot reveal the questions right now. That's a little bit, like too revealing. I'm bound by rules as well. Not only morphemes are bound, I'm bound as well. Okay, Alia, which part about morphology are you in the dark about? And Iza, can you clarify your question? Oh, Yasmin. Wallahu alam. I cannot reveal that. All I can tell you is there are MCQ questions. They can ask anything. All right. Iza, I believe that question you're asking, is that from, what you call this? Is that from the textbook? Okay. Farah Shafika, okay, that's one question. I'm taking note of the question. I have an answer for that, but I'll wait for a few more questions before I start answering. Okay, I know Nasrin, that's a very nice question there. I will answer after this. Yeah, Iza, because the textbook tends to ask very advanced questions. I would understand that. Okay, any other questions? Oh, about allomorphs. Allomorph is a very complex thing. I believe I didn't really cover that. Bound morphemes. You can know about it in general, but there's nothing much to talk about it, to be honest. Okay, bound. Okay, any other questions? I'll wait for a few more minutes and I'll start answering questions. Bound stem. Allomorphs? Ooh, why are people asking the questions that I never really taught or never really covered that much? But okay, I will entertain the question, no worries. Okay, any other questions? Okay, how do I read that emoji there? Fix X. All right. So I think I should begin now, I guess. All right. Okay, I'll answer from the easiest to the hardest question to explain, all right? Now, a lot of you are very concerned about lexical and functional morphology. Okay, I had to get myself in a comfortable position to type, all right, because I have the mic here and the mic is over my arm actually. All right. Okay, first of all, always remember the concept that every word has to have at least one free morpheme. So let's say, for example, sir, I cannot divide this word. What do I do with this word? Well, then that is a free morpheme on its own, all right? Even if you're not dividing it, it is still a morpheme. Because a free morpheme, the very concept of it is it acts as a standalone word, all right? So if it's not dividable, just say this is a free morpheme. Simple as that. It's a very simple concept. Now, when it comes to free morphemes, okay, now we have two types of morphemes. All right. So first of all, we have a free morpheme and a bound morpheme. So the very basic concept, free morpheme can stand on its own. A bound morpheme, when separated, it can't really stand on its own. Let's take the word, let's say, I like to give this thing a lot in class, all right? Redo. So you can separate re and do. So look at how I type it out, by the way. So whenever the morpheme is a suffix or a prefix, we have the hyphen, we have the dash there. So to answer Yasmin over here, yes, you have to put it to notify that it is a suffix or a prefix, all right? So a free morpheme, so do is still a word on its own, whereas re, it's a bound morpheme because you cannot say, for example, okay, can you read that for me? You can't do that. Now, under these two, there are two categories, all right? Free morpheme, there are two types, lexical, and we have functional. All right? Whereas for bound morpheme, you have inflectional and you have derivational. All right, testing. Is my line back? All right. All right, sorry about that internet problem. Oh my god, I thought problems only happen on campus, but yeah, it's not your problem, it's my problem, right? Thanks for bearing with that. Things happen. Okay, so where was I? So first of all, free morpheme, we have two types. So lexical morphemes, lexical free morphemes have to do with the lexicon. Lexicon is all about the vocab. Now, all we know is that the vocab of a word is, it can be borrowed from other languages, whereas functional words are your grammatical words, all right? Words that add function. They have a function in a sentence. So words that are functional in nature would be, for example, your pronouns or your conjunctions or your prepositions, Those kind of words are your functional free morphemes, words like he, she, it, and they. All right. Whereas lexical words is every other words, usually your nouns or your verbs. All right. Now, when it comes to bound morphemes, there are two types. Okay, Hanis and who's that? Madiha. Okay, I'm getting to a question right now here. So we have two types, inflectional and derivational. So inflectional has to do with grammar. Inflectional bound morphemes, they alter the grammar of a particular word. All right. For example, let's say, you have a bug. All right. Then a bug plus s becomes bugs. You turn it to plural, all right? But does it change the meaning of the main word? Nope. It just says it's plural. It just changes the grammar. So the eight inflectional, the 8 bound inflectional morphemes would be ed, and then ing, and then s, and then the apostrophe s, adding, and then you have en, er, and est. Those are your only only bound inflectional morphemes. There are only 8 of them, all right? But you have to remember it is the grammatical one. There are some cases where it seems like the grammatical one, but it's actually it's actually the derivational one. So you have to be very careful. Look at the word, all right? So, okay, somebody asked, sir, if in the exam morpheme, yes, you have to show. You have to show, Madiha. You have to show how it's divided. All right, now for terrorist, yes, terrorist would be, why are we doing that word, by the way? Terrorist is terror plus ist. All right, a very simple concept over there. Bound cannot stand on its own. So ist over here, can you say, okay, I want one ist? No, it cannot stand on its own, all right? Never in a million years. How to divide reliable? All right, simple. The root word is rely, all right? And you're able to rely on someone, right? It has to do with ability. So what do you think it is? So both are free. Able is, keboleh kepercayaan, right? So keboleh percayaan. Keboleh harapan. I don't know how you call it in BM. So yeah, rely and able. Both are obviously free over there. All right, let's see. Allomorphs is a very interesting thing. I did not really explain this in class because it overlaps with phonetics. That's the scary part. So for example, okay, take the morpheme S, okay? So even though it's the word S, but is it pronounced S, or would it be transcribed as a Z, or would it be transcribed as, for example, this? So this is what allomorphs are all about. You might have a particular morpheme, but the pronunciation is different. So the alternate realization of the particular morpheme is an allomorph. That's a rather complex concept, actually, all right? And then looking back at Iza's question, okay, bound stem. So what's a bound stem? So there are cases in words where, for example, let's take deceive, all right? So we obviously know that D is definitely a morpheme, a bound morpheme, because in other than deceive, you can also have D what? Depress, for example. What else? D. What other words have D in the beginning? DE, everyone? What is DE? Debug, for example. All right, you have debug. So DE, it is a legit morpheme. However, destabilize, decompose. Yeah, thank you so much. However, is it possible to break up D and sieve? So there are cases where, for example, even though D is a legit one on its own, but sieve on its own cannot be broken. So this is not a morpheme on its own, all right? So this is what we call a stem, a bound stem. meaning to say it latches on and you cannot break it off. All right. That's a very, very interesting one to talk about, actually. Okay, what else do we have? So, Isa, I hope I answered your question. I kind of gave the answer for the whole thing, actually. All right, now Hakim has a very interesting question. So, when you break it up, make sure that, when you stop at a particular step, you can still use it. So, let's say if you stop at glorify, okay, glorify will be correct. So glorify, we come up with glorify. Glorificate does not exist. So you go to the next stage, glorification. All right. All right. So Sabik has a very good question, by the way. So in the case of words like deceive, does it count as a free morpheme or bound morpheme? Because sieve cannot survive on its own and D cannot survive on its own either, you cannot say it's bound. It's impossible. So the whole thing is a free morpheme in this case. All right. All right. Some people ask, how do we write our answer? So let's say the word is glorification. All right. Like I showed here. So glorification. So the word is given. Depending on what the question say, first you must divide them. And then you say lah, depending on what the question was. If it says just divide into free and bound, then say it's free, then say it's bound, and then say this one is bound. If it asks you, okay, can you give the subcategory as well? So this would be definitely a lexical free morpheme. This one would be derivational. And the last one is also derivational. As simple as that. All right. So yeah, if you have a bound stem, then the whole word counts as a free morpheme. But be very careful because bound stems can be very tricky. That's why I don't really mention them that much in class. But of course, do read the book because everything from the book will be tested, including the theory. So do understand, how things are divided and what's a morpheme and all that. Do know your stuff, all right? All right, other questions from you guys? So far, this is going well. There aren't that many examples of allomorphs, Sabik. Like usually they have to do with tenses. For example, when you add the s, right, you can pronounce it as a s, as a z, or an is, like that. Or for example, let's say you have d. So sometimes it's pronounced as a d. Sometimes you have wanted. You have the Roman I, but I cannot type it right now on my current one. Mariam, wallahu alam. Wallahu alam, Mariam. You shall know that tomorrow. Alright, Farzana has a very good question. Now, the one you talk about there is, well, what you call that? Not masdar. There's a certain term for it in Arabic. Okay, ASD Foop, how to write the answer? I just did that just now, actually, here. So if you're asked to divide a morpheme, divide a word into morphemes, you have the word, divide them properly, and then if it's an affix, a prefix, or a suffix. Oh, Farahia, be careful. Sometimes it doesn't mean a yes. Sometimes it means a no. I just said Wallahu alam. Only Allah knows. To be fair to everyone, I haven't seen the paper this time. I only made, let me see, how many questions did I make? Because there are at least 3 or 4 different sets of this one, and I only contributed like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not, I think only 10 questions come from me, and I don't know which one is coming out in which paper. I would say that this paper is pretty much Brother Atta's masterpiece. This is more of his paper rather than mine. Yep, it is made by him. I mean, just like the phonetics quiz where he made most of the questions. Because I've been making the questions for too long. Free word? Are you sure it's a free word or free morpheme? Get your terms correct, Asfar. Alright, what else? Hakim, when do we answer free and when do we answer lexical? Look at the question. Look at what the question wants. Alright. Okay, Farzana asked a very interesting question. Alright. Now, she asked about went. So, went is a special case because when it comes to past tense, there are special forms. Those special forms, even though meaning-wise they are related, but because they come from a different root altogether, so you don't really, say that go plus this becomes that. That's a very special form. So you don't. It's just one free morpheme. ASD FOOP. Are there supposed to be brackets? Are there supposed to be brackets? No worry, Asfar. I understand that the quiz is coming soon. All right, bring on the questions. So unlike phonetics, this is not something that, I can explain that much because it's more of like a dividing skill, knowing how to break up the words and all that. By the way, to those of you who received my set of words for practice, any problems with those words so far? I gave how many words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I gave 19 words. Why didn't I give 20? Okay, never mind. 19 is a nice number anyway. Alright, Madiha asked a really good... Okay, Farah here. Because in the case of death, it still has the essence of the original word. The root word is still pretty much the same, which is die. The spelling still have hints of it. Words like death, words like nomination, it still has the roots. But went is like completely different letter altogether, all right? And then let's see. Midnight. Okay, Madiha has a very nice question over there, right? So mid is an incredibly interesting word because it can be a bound morpheme. It can be a midnight is an interesting one because it started as a blend of middle of the night. All right. So mid over here, it works as a bound morpheme in this particular case, and then night is of course the free morpheme. Okay. I'll go one by one, guys. A lot of questions coming in. Okay, allomorphs. Okay, it's like this. Usually with the tenses, all right. For example, like s. Okay, so even though it's supposed to be s by default, but sometimes it becomes ies. Sometimes it becomes all other alternate forms. So a lot of these basic morphemes, they have variations. So this variation of morphemes is what we call allomorphs. For example, S and IES, they have the same meaning despite different spelling. So sometimes they have different spelling. Sometimes they have different pronunciation. For example, if I say bugs, all right, even though it's spelled with an S, but the pronunciation is definitely z, bugs, because you have a voiced velar plosive over here that is affecting the fricative after that and changing it into a voiced sound due to assimilation. So that's why allomorph can be very complicated, which is why I barely touched it in class actually, all right? Farzana, yes, has, had, is, all of those are also functional morphemes. In the chapter after this, we are going to cover those functional words as well, all right? Okay, Ashika Firzana, you have an incredibly good question. Teacher. So despite having the ER, is that the derivational ER or is that the inflectional ER? So the inflectional ER is the comparative. For example, something is, better, or something is, for example, uglier, or something is, for example, darker. So those kind of ERs, words like darker, words like uglier, words like, oh my god, that's racist over here. No, I don't do racism here. I don't want it to give the I don't want it to give the wrong impression here. Like words like smaller or larger, or words like, for example, what other words you have with ER? Okay, so this is your comparative, meaning to say the root word is still the same. Small, large is still the size. But words like singer, words like lecturer, which is what I do. Asfara, seriously. You guys are funny. Or words like teacher. Asfar is asking. Oh, baker. Yes, baker is a very good word as well. So those are derivational, not inflectional. So make sure you don't get confused between the two. Okay, any other questions? So the amazing is, let me see. Yes, because the inflectional ing is what you call this? The inflectional ing. Hold on. I'm talking about the inflectional ing is the continuous tense. For example, like doing or singing. This one is your inflectional bound one, all right? Whereas the other ing is now an amazing because it's an adjective, therefore it is derivational. But it can also be inflectional. For example, he is amazing her with his guitar skills. So in a case like this, he is amazing her with his guitar skills. Because amaze here is an action, automatically this one becomes inflectional. So for some words, it can become inflectional or derivational depending on the sentence. So be very careful. Okay, Madiha, liar. Yes, it is ER, and that is allomorph in action, all right? So by right, it's supposed to be that, but because of how allomorphs work, suddenly the whole word changed and become liar, Liar. That's what allomorph is all about, the alternate spellings and pronunciations when morphemes combine. Mariam Shahira, a person who... Not necessarily, Mariam, not necessarily. It can be also... It's a comparative. Basically, anything that you're comparing, when you have and ust, for example, tall, taller, tallest, or small, smaller, smallest, large, larger, largest, dark, darker, darkest. All right? Then it is inflectional. All right? Derivational, okay. Derivational person, ER, there are cases where it's not. Hold on, there are a few words where it's not. So you have to be very careful there. It's not a person. For example, let's say, like a blender, for example. It's not a person who blends, it's a device that blends. So be very careful over there. Okay, Ainun Nasrin has a very good question as well. How divide the word geography? So geography, geo, plus graph. Graph means line over here, plus E over there. Yeah, cooker, for example. Okay, closer can be both derivational and inflectional. It is inflectional if you're talking about he is closer to me right now. He is the closest to me. Then that is definitely inflectional. But derivational, for example, that song is the closer for tonight, the penutup. If it's makin rapat, it is inflectional. If it is penutup, it is derivational. So far, I like the discussion tonight. You guys are asking a lot of good questions. And bring the questions on. Bring it on. Bring it on. Okay, what else? How can I help you? Oh, can't see the answer? Okay, hold on. Maybe, okay. Can you see it now? Sorry about that. Totally sorry about that. Yep, because graph is line. Okay, thank you for letting me know. Because sometimes I have this tendency to forget things. Ist, yeah, ist is derivational. Okay, Alia, depends. Do they give a sentence or not? If they give a sentence, then yeah. If they don't, then yeah. All right, Mariam. So can you break up the word nutrient in the first place? Okay, and Hakim. What type of meaning? Totally different. For example, sing is nyanyi. It's an action. Whereas singer is a penyanyi. It's a person. So it's a different meaning. But let's say singer and singers. Alright, penyanyi dan penyanyi. It's still the same thing. You're talking about a person or persons. So yeah. That's what is meant by derivational over there. Okay, what else, guys? I will entertain questions for another 4 and 5 minutes. Isa. Very simple, very simple. So if you say affix, affix is simply any imbuhan. Any imbuhan. I hope this can be seen on screen, by the way. It's clearer now. Okay, very good. Now, a prefix, even the name pre, right, is, before. A suffix is after. Now, if you notice, even the words affix, prefix, suffix can be divided into morphemes. So, affix would be af plus fix. All right. And to prove that, you also have, for example, you affirm something. You affirm, and then you have affirm. Oh, hold on. Okay. I'll make the font smaller, by the way, so everybody can see it right now. And then, for example, you have words like, okay, then prefix is obviously pre plus the word fix. Now, why we donated 5,000? I would love a $5,000 donation. That would be crazy. All right. Now, the word suffix, all right, is, can you divide suffix? I'll leave that up to you. All right. Twitter. Okay, Norain Najiha, that's a very good question. So on Twitter, you tweet. So tweet plus Very simple. Yes. So if you notice ASD, look at how I wrote it. So if there is a dash over there, it is going to be a bound morpheme over there. All right. Sabik, what do you mean in between? Oh, in between the affix. That will be inside is infix, and then you have circumfix. Circumfix is around, and then infix is inside. CYJ, yes, you are correct. All right, Mariam, to answer your question, first of all, is nutrient dividable into different morphemes or not? So look at the meaning for Ashafika. Do you think firm has anything to do with confirm? What do you think? I like that the questions are getting more interesting now. Okay, this session will end in another 3 more minutes. Yasmin, definitely. You are correct. Ismin, yes. You can split it the same way. Geo is definitely a bound morpheme. The word understand. What do you think? Does it have to do anything with berdiri bawah? No, right? Understand is just simply understand. Nothing to do with berdiri bawah anything. So it's just a free morpheme. Very good. Reminder is correct. What else? What else am I missing in chat right now? Confirmation, because you want to be firm about something, so you confirm. Yes, ASD Foop, you are definitely correct. Who is ASD Foop, by the way? It's a very interesting name to have. Yep, it is bound in. Nope, it's not bound inflectional. You only have 8 inflectional bound morphemes, which is ED, EN, ER, EST, ING, and S. Only 8. Aha, so what do you think the answer will be, Mariam? How to divide stimuli? Can you divide stimuli? Okay, why not remind? Okay, because remind has something to do with the mind, of course. You want someone to keep something in mind. So in order to remind someone to keep in mind, you remind them. All right? Because you keep your, your memory in your mind, in your brain. So you remind them. Nowadays, Shazmira, did I miss your question earlier? Holy, did I miss Shazmira's question? I might miss questions if the chat is very fast. Hold on, I don't think I got Shazmira's question earlier. Nowadays, study SIA. So what? So nowadays, the word nowadays, well, now, and day, and sa. Because confirm, the root word is firm. When you confirm something, you become firm. All right. Oh, Madiha's question. Where's Madiha's question? Oh my god. Sorry, I'm missing things. Oh my god. I had to increase the size of my font actually so I can read what's going on. I tend to miss things. All right, nowadays can be broken up. Pada masa kini. So, day, you can break up day. You can break up now. You can break up se. It is totally breakable nowadays. Totally breakable. And dividable. ASD Foop depends on the word. Depends on the word. And then privacy. One Ismin is a very good one. So privacy comes from the word. Okay, what's the root word of privacy, guys? So if there is a root word, definitely you can break it up. Mariam, so as I said, because you can't divide it, but remember, does it have any component that can work as a bound morpheme? If not, it's not really a stem there. All right, hold on. Somebody got the root word of privacy. So yeah, you have privy. Privy becomes private, and then privacy. All right. Okay. Wait. Hold on. I hope my line is not. Yeah, privy. So if I were to type here, it's a word that not people are not familiar with. All right. So you know you have this word, and then you get this, and you get private, and then you add C, and it becomes privacy. So 3 morphemes, very well hidden over there. Yes, ASD Foop, you're completely correct over there. Native is the root word of nation. Furthermore, yeah, Alia is completely correct. All right, stimuli cannot be broken. Okay. Hakim, yes. What else? Oh, whoa. It's like towards the end, everybody's asking all the hot questions. I wonder why. All right, any final questions? This is the final minute of our class. Our revision class, sorry. I just explained it, all right? So the root word is privy. So if your vocab is really good, you would know that privy here means, you know, to share private details. You're privy about something. And then, you know, things that are private, you call them private. And then you have privacy. Gravitation is easy. So you have gravity. And then you have gravitate. And then you have gravitation. Yeah, for example, you have gravitate, because some words have the ate ending. You gravitate, you nominate, you laminate. You have what else? You have a lot of things have ate in it, all right? How to differ them? Look at the word. Always look at the word. Different words have different one. Farzana has some really interesting questions there. So that one... Oh, wait a minute. Stimuli is a plural, right? Holy crap. Sorry, I forgot about this one. Usually if there's anything I'm weak at, I'm kind of like, you know, those from Latin origin is kind of tough for me. I'm not really a fan of Latin words. I get confused myself. I forgot that stimuli is the plural. I thought that stimulus is the plural. Holy crap. Thank you so much, Farzana. So in the case of what you call this, in the case of in the case of stimuli is definitely... But then again, I'm not a fan of Latin words sangat. Latin is not easy. Stimulus plus I equals, you know, stimulus. So yeah, because you mentioned Pegasus, I was like, oh my god, I forgot that. So yeah, but those are in the case of, you know, those are in the case of Latin origin words, which can be very, very, very complicated at times. Sabik, different languages have different morphological system. ASD Foop, it depends. Although if you put Asian here, okay, here's the thing. If you put Asian here, it doesn't matter. But 8, okay, why you say 8 over here? Because gravitate Gravitation. All right. So here's actually should, not gravitate, because gravitate can exist as a word on its own. It does exist. For example, he gravitated towards the artist, for example. So you can have gravitate as a word. So it becomes ate if it can exist. For example, if you say nation, you cannot nate. Nate doesn't exist, but gravitation exists. What other words have ate in it? Salute, salute, but no, salutate. Does salutate exist? Nope. So it's salute and then salutation. So the ate form doesn't exist over there. Yes, you have to think. So salute, salute, salutation. So Farahia is definitely correct over there. So you have to think, when you combine it, does that word exist or not? You don't simply break them up. So in the word gravitation, gravitate actually exists. Well, that's the challenge of morphology. You have to have really good vocab. That's the only tip I can give. This is highly vocab dependent, which is why the requirement to be a Ben student is very high. You need to get A for English and SPM in order to qualify. So my only tip is, read a lot of novels, read a lot of comics. Comics have really good vocab, for the record. I know, I'm one of the few lecturers who ask students to read comics, to read subtitles of Korean dramas and all that. Because in all honesty, especially subtitles for Korean dramas, they have really good vocab. So go watch your favorite K-drama tonight. Watch your favorite K-drama tonight and get good. Alright? Yeah, Hakim, don't say that. Okay, in the term graduation, because it's graduate plus shun, because gradu doesn't exist. Grad is clipping. All right. You'll watch K-drama tonight, but make sure you don't watch till midnight, especially if you have a test with me tomorrow. Okay, what else? Graduation. Irritate. Yeah, Iza's correct. Irritate, irritation. What hal Shika? What? Masya Allah, Chika. Semester? Definitely. Hey, Ashika is behaving well there. I mean, I asked her to watch K-dramas, so of course you should watch K-dramas. Or even anime. Anime, especially if you watch it on Netflix or Crunchyroll, they have some really good subtitles going on. Alright. I personally know a few subtitlists for Netflix, and I know that they are doing a very, 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 admirable job doing the subtitles. Ezri, nampak sedih lah dapat 15. InsyaAllah. Amin. Yeah, being... Oh yeah, Valorant is a good word. Valorant? What is the root word of Valorant? You have valor. Valor is a word. As I said, Muaz, because the word gravitate actually exists. Nah. I can get you a Fender sticker, I guess. Yes, Valorant is a game, but the word Valorant comes from valor. You can search the word valor in a dictionary, by the way. It's a very nice word. And many video games use the word valor. There's a game that I played back in the early 2000s, back in my high school days, called Dragon Valor. It's a very nice game. Valor there. Yeah, so Valorant. There you go. You have to understand one thing, that video games and anime, they really play with morphology. They truly play with morphology. So that's why Dragon Quest is another game. The one I played was Dragon Valor, made by Namco. So yeah, games, especially RPGs and Japanese games. Minecraft, I don't play Minecraft, but Minecraft is obviously mine and craft. Okay, actually Minecraft is a very unique case because the root word is actually me plus ne plus craft. This is the game Minecraft. So why me? Because Minecraft bukan periuk api tau. Mine as in saya punya, and then craft ciptaan. So Minecraft. That's the game Minecraft over there. So you see, everyone, games really help your morphology and your vocab. Trust me on this. Video games and anime and K-drama subtitles, very rich vocabulary. It's not a verb. Mine is a, what you call this? Mine is to be, what do you call that? It's a pronoun. In Madiha, yes, valor plus unt. Cop, let's play valor plus unt. Hey, don't do it that way. That's funny. And Subic. Now, Subic is a very interesting thing. Okay, that's the thing about Minecraft, alright? Mine over here, the game Minecraft, the word Minecraft itself is wordplay, which we're going to cover in the next few chapters, alright? It is the best writers out there, they play with words that, you know, can mean many things. So it does have the cari gali thing, because you have to find all those things, but at the same time you're trying to make your own craft, saya punya. So that's the richness of the term there, which is once again why I say I have a lot of admiration for those who, you know, are in the gaming industry, because they are very creative with their words. They even invent their own morphology. For example, if you ever played Final Fantasy, right? So you have, in most games, you have level 1 spell, a level 2 spell, and a level 3 spell. So in Final Fantasy, they have their own, what you call this, their own morphological system, where level 1 magic will be fire, and then level 2 will be Fira, and then level 3 will be Firaga. Alright? So fire, Fira, Firaga. So you see, the game Final Fantasy creates its own morphemes. So it has the A morpheme and the Aga morpheme, which it actually borrows from, I believe, either Sanskrit or Latin. Because when, when Japanese people make games, they like to create terms and they like to borrow the morphology of other languages. So seriously, you can really Quranic level Fira Firu. Fira Firu Firi. Warzone, I have never played Warzone, so I can't comment on that. Tiba se Atta masukkan ni, at least you guys know now. I would have to say that Brother Atta is a fan of computer games. Why Pakistan all of a sudden? That's so random. Imitate? Hold on. Imitate is a very unique word. I have to be careful with the word imitate. I don't want to give ajaran sesat here. Alright, I need to stop in 30 seconds because I have other stuff to do tonight. So, any other final words? Any final questions? Alright, imitate is just imitate. The duration tomorrow is 30 minutes. Alright? So yeah, why are you worried? Why are you worried? Hey, ASD Foop, be careful with the emoji. I am married. Ihdina siratul mustaqim. Is duration a free lexicon? What do you think? How many questions? You'll see tomorrow. Quite a lot, to be honest, quite a lot. Short-term memory. Shippuden. Yeah, we're not doing Japanese morphology here. If you do Japanese morphology, we will all die. COP. What is COP? What is that? Chop? Like uchop or something? All right. Anyway, thank you everyone. Hope you guys had fun. Any other questions, ask on the group. And for those who have the quiz tomorrow, all the best. For those who have the quiz on Friday, yes, all the best as well. All right. So thank you guys and see you later. Take wudu and of course, perform salat duha, call your parents and ask for forgiveness. If you have any debts, settle your debts, your hutang, and yeah. So thank you everyone. See you later.